First Minister, a recent FOI showed that in Powys there's around 4,500 households waiting for social housing. I'm sure you'll agree with me that's extremely worrying. I'm sure those individuals and those people on that waiting list, like I do, want to know today what you and your government is doing to fix this problem, because, as you said earlier, funding is coming forward, but it's not achieving the results you want. So instead of chasing headlines, First Minister, do you think removing things like the phosphate regulation imposed by Natural Resources Wales would go some way to unblocking the planning system?
Well, I certainly don't think that allowing greater pollution of rivers in Powys will be something that will be supported by the member's constituents. And let us be very clear that when he says lifting the phosphate regulations, that is exactly what he means. It is exactly what he means. It cannot mean anything else. If you allow housing developments to take place, knowing that that will lead to greater pollution of watercourses and rivers, then that will be the impact of doing what the member proposes. Now, fortunately, most people who work in this area, including organisations in Powys, have a more constructive attitude to solving the dilemma that we face. Of course, we need to be able to build houses in Powys and other parts of Wales. That means we have to find a sustainable solution that building those houses does not have guaranteed into them additional pollution impact on rivers that are already over-polluted. A series of contributions will be needed to that. There will be a need for a contribution from the regulator. There will be a need for a contribution of Dŵr Cymru. There will be a need for a contribution from farming interests, and there will be a need for a contribution from housing developers who have techniques that they can use and are willing to use, which would mean that when you build new houses, it does not lead.
I'm really sorry, First Minister, but there are many backbenchers from at least two parties who are seeking to contribute in your place on this debate. I'd rather hear you than them. All of them. First Minister.
Llywydd, thank you. I was simply trying to explain to the member that the problem he identifies is a real one, but the solution that he proposes only makes another problem, a very serious problem, worse. We will not solve the problem in that way. The only way we will solve it is by collecting together the contribution of many different agencies and organisations. That includes house builders. I think they recognise that. There are techniques that they can develop that would mean that house building can take place without the damage that would be done by the simplistic solution that James Evans offered us, which would undoubtedly lead to additional pollution.
Cwestiwn 5 Powys.